I made $17,000 last month from my Instagram page without recording a single second of content. In 2025, no one seems to realize that both creators and brands are desperately looking for someone to automate their content, and they're paying thousands for it.
Hey everyone, today we're going to be looking at some really bad AI automation content. I think it's really bad just because a lot of the time people are trying to sell you on something or trying to show some type of system that really doesn't work. Or if it does work, it's not really beneficial to most people. And so today we're just looking at a couple of those, mainly on Instagram, so hopefully you guys enjoy.
This is the easiest way to make money on Instagram using only AI. First, go to faceless.video and click start for free. Then choose the type of video you want to create, like motivational stories, fun facts, or scary stories. Pick a background that fits your video's style. Customize the font and color to give your content a personal touch. Select a voice that matches your video's tone, click create series, and done. Now just connect your Instagram and let AI fully automate your videos every single day. Finally, go to digistore24.com, click marketplace, choose a product in your niche, and add the link to your bio. This will get you sales on autopilot. Comment AI, and the link to faceless.video will be in your DMs.
So I had a couple issues with that first one that we saw. First, it's kind of weird seeing an AI salesperson try to sell you on something. I don't know of many great AI salespeople. I mean, I feel like human salespeople are pretty hard to come by anyways. Just trying to have an AI trying to sell you on an automation system isn't that great. The second issue is have the AI generate content there and then have that be a feeder for your company, for your business, even one that you haven't even validated the product for. That's my biggest issue for this one so far, is that there's not really a product that you've already tested and validated that's worthwhile to have someone go out there and sell. I think a good equivalent would be hiring a sales team of 100 people before you even know if the product is good. You're basically throwing in slop content and an untested product into a market that probably no one wants.
I made $17,000 last month from my Instagram page without recording a single second of content. In 2025, no one seems to realize that both creators and brands are desperately looking for someone to automate their content, and they're paying thousands for it. You never have to hit record because AI writes the scripts, your AI clone does the recordings, and editors handle the rest. I do this for certain brands, one of them paying me $6,000 per month. And if you want to learn how I do it, message me how, and I'll send you over my free course.
It says you can make $17,000 just by using this basic AI scripting and automation framework that basically has companies that already want to automate their sales funnel into an AI. So I have a couple issues with that. One is that companies that want to invest in good advertising, good marketing, good branding are probably going to do it with someone that's already in that niche and that it's worthwhile to spend money on. I'm not going to spend $500 to have an AI promote my product if the AI is trying to promote that product to everyone and essentially you promote it to no one of interest for your company. So I'd rather spend that $500 and maybe find an actual influencer in that space that is actually willing to promote the product, understands it, and has that their audience is looking for something similar. So I, as a business owner, would rather put $500 towards an influencer that's already in that space, that has a strong market base and fan base, and is probably closer to what I envision my target demographic would be for that business. Right? In this case, he's saying if you just throw out a bunch of sales pitches into the void, one of them will stick. I think the issue with that is that with an AI contenter, especially in a contenter creator economy, people aren't looking for AI to sell them something, and they're not actually looking forward to being sold. They go for the content, and it happens to be a pitch in there, they'll take it and gladly accept it. Whereas if you're always constantly being sold to, I don't know many people who want to see that kind of content.
This automation saved not only a few hundred hours of work, it also helped me to improve consistently my organic traffic. It will analyze your data from Google Analytics, analyze your rank performance, crawls frequently asked questions by using SERP API, analyze all competitors and creates detailed reports about the articles, analyze the article performance, and finally rewrite your article based on the overall performance and data.
Okay, so this pitch is kind of weird. He's not really trying to sell you something, at least directly in the video, which I kind of appreciate. But one of the issues is that I have no idea what he's trying to automate here. He says this could save you hundreds of hours, increase your impressions, and then look like clicks on your page. I'm assuming it's like Google Analytics or YouTube or something like that. The amount of effort you're trying to put in actually equates to actual changes. One of the metrics that he shows, like impressions and clicks, were going up steadily. Which I think is a good sign. He says mainly organic traffic. We don't have much to base that off of right away. He doesn't show anything else. There could have been other factors. The other thing is I don't know what market space he's in, right? Is it a market or SEO space that's growing really rapidly? So he just happened to get there in the right time. And because of that, Google and other search engines are pushing up his content more and more. And like I said, I had all these connections and I still really wasn't sure exactly what the end result was trying to be. Was it trying to get obtainable results and actions and insights to see how well we can improve the website or whatever traffic we're trying to drive in? So this one I probably rate pretty poorly as well, just because I don't know exactly what the end use case is for this type of automation.
This automation will generate posts for your Instagram completely on autopilot. So whenever a website posts new content, this RSS module will retrieve the contents of the post. If you're not sure which RSS feeds to watch, if you head over to this RSS.app, this website will give you all the options you need. You might want to watch a certain Instagram, Twitter, or LinkedIn account, or you could even get an RSS feed on certain topics like crypto, technology, or sports. We then use this HTTP module to get a file from the URL we identified in the first RSS module. This text parser module will then convert the HTML text we receive from the URL into text that we can use. This ChatGPT module is then going to convert the text into a post that's suitable for Instagram. This is the prompt that we've used. If you wanted to post to LinkedIn or Twitter, you would need to tweak this prompt. We then use DALL-E to generate an image that is related to the content we post. For example, if we're posting about AI news, then it would generate an image like this, and then this last module will post the image along with a caption to our Instagram account. So this is how we post brand new stories straight to our social media account without having to lift a finger. Comment template below if you want this template.
So that was actually an interesting one, because I think it was the first time we actually see a mention of ChatGPT in writing, and we also get to see a look into what these AI, grifters want the prompt to kind of be. If you look really closely, it says something along the lines of create a text that's attention grabbing. It should be simple. And I think it did a similar thing for the image I want to generate. It should be related to the topic, but also grab the attention. And I think it's really interesting when we look at other people's prompt engineering techniques. Most of them are pretty bad in my opinion, just because they're focused on, very loose terms of quality. So for example, so it should be engaging, grab their attention, and relevant. And those are all kind of hard, especially since, the topics at hand are kind of each different. You can do something like a few shot prompting where you'd be like, hey, if it's talking about AI, make sure you focus on impact rather than summarizing the contents of the article. Or if it's something on content creation, then focus on the headline, make that part of the image. But like I said, this is just something I wouldn't normally see people wanting to use. If you're just having AI create a news feed and posting that, I feel like at that point you're not really adding news, as if you're just regurgitating the news that's already out there. Because RSS feeds are only updated when new data comes in. And so if you want to be ahead of something, if you want to create news and content, things that aren't already being passed around, then you need to be in that space before the RSS feed even captures it. Not something I would see most people want to use, or any business would want to use, unless their main strategy is just being on top of everything right away and people really don't care. This it's honestly like an RSS feed to text generation or summarization thing. I could see something being used as a more internal tool at a company, especially like something like journalism, where they're at a smaller scale. As new events are developing and they're trying to figure out what's going on, then they can get these summarized contents there. But that's probably the only use case I see. I wouldn't want to use this to push content out on the people. Well, to understand what's going on, get it faster, and get it in a way that's a little more digestible. This is one of the few ones where they actually don't have an AI avatar. It's actually, I think, they either created a program or someone that's trying to sell you on a course actually talking live to you, which I find fascinating.
When you're So how do I charge $5,000 for a simple AI receptionist I create using ChatGPT in under 5 minutes? You have to understand one word: return on investment. When you're talking to business owners and you're asking them for $5,000, they're like, okay, I'm gonna give you $5,000, but how much will I make back? AKA, what's the return on investment? And that's what you gotta break down. So it's not about the AI agent, it's about how big is the problem the AI agent is solving. So there's a study who monitored 85 different businesses and found out basically that 62% of the calls they got were missed. That's more than half of the calls they got, and it's a lot of money that they're missing out on. If you break it down in numbers, let's say a beauty spa is getting 100 calls per month. They only managed to answer 30 of them. Out of those 30, they convert 9 clients, which paid them $400 each. They made $3,600. But 70 of the calls were not answered. And if they had our AI to answer those calls, they could have gotten 21 more clients, which would have paid them $400 each, and they could have made an extra $8,400. So with our AI receptionists, we're making them an extra $8,500 per month, and we're removing the slow and lazy front desk receptionist that is missing calls all the time. So they pay us $5,000 and get $8,500 back. And if you explain it in this way, it makes sense to these business owners and they're ready to pay you $5,000 because they're making it all back. So this is a real client result that I got. We took them from 22 to 77 appointments within 1 month after implementing our AI receptionist. That doesn't make the business money. Answering the phone quicker makes the money, and that's what you gotta sell to make money yourself.
So that one was an interesting one. I don't think he was actually trying to directly sell us into something. He did say something I completely agree with. It's not about implementing AI or whatever latest technology trend is into everything. It's about actually solving business problems and problems that people have on a daily basis and using AI, whatever tools we have, to supplement the solution that they have or currently don't have. It's just really hard because he says he helped. The example he gave, I'm not sure how true it is, was about a beauty spa. And even the thing he referenced there was 100% like a ChatGPT response. It had like the emoji, the bullet point, the nice structured formatting that people normally don't write in. So I think there is some merit to it, but I would take it with a grain of salt, and specifically exactly what kind of people were telephoning in, especially in research, right? Because the volume call that is missed at, like, let's say customer service center is a lot different than a beauty spa, which is what he cited was bringing in and generating revenue for him. The next thing he said he did was he built the AI in under 5 minutes, which is kind of hard. So you could probably build the system in under 5 minutes, but implementing it, getting user feedback, and making sure that it's actually valuable to the company would probably take a lot longer than 5 minutes. That's a process. And like I said, it depends on the volume and frequency of the calls. In the beauty spa example, he said that 30 of them were successful in getting their call answered, and then about a third of them, so I think it was like 9 of them, ended up being paying clients, each paying $400. And if we take the same math and do it with the 70 calls that didn't get answered, we were missing out on a big margin right there. I don't know if that's necessarily true, because sometimes if those could be repeat callers, those could be people asking for other information and questions. And for the most part, I think people, especially if you're beauty spas now, I think people start booking more online than rather calling in person. I think right now there's very few services that you can't do initial appointment or booking online just because of how simple and easier that is and how much lower cost that is for driving up new customers and new volume. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. Make sure you hit like, comment, and subscribe. If you guys want more of this, feel free to let me know. If there's other topics you want me to cover, let me know too. I'm thinking about doing some more videos on really bad AI automation, grifters, and things like that. I also want to kind of do like a really bad AI course review. So if you guys know of any that you've been duped in and you want me to go review it and figure out like why I believe this is bad point by point, I'd love to do that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care.